When I was in grade school, an art teacher saw me hurrying to finish what I was doing in his class. He told me something I have never forgotten. Art is not a race, he said. Then he gave me the instruction to work slowly. I was to fill up an entire page with my drawing so there was no blank space left. I was not a patient child and did not become any more so as a teen. I only succeeded at completing that instruction as a young adult. The banner on my YouTube page is a crop of that first accomplishment. Since then, I have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and Asperger's. The bipolar has been a struggle most of my life, but more so in my childhood before it was detected. When I was up, people were amazed at my energy and worried about my explosive temper and lack of patience. And when I was down, everyone worried instead about my lack of interest in all the things about which they had been excited a week or a month before. Then they would tell me I wasn't living up to my full potential. That phrase has unfortunately also stuck with me. In my early 20s, the bipolar was recognized, and the worries at least had a name. I have tried to develop strategies through the years to deal with it, and art has been one of them. My Asperger's was detected about 10 years after that. It probably took so long because it didn't cause me the kind of distress the bipolar did. I have always seen myself as a little weird, and Asperger's gives some definition to that weirdness. But I celebrate it in a way that I do not and cannot with the bipolar. In fact, I have come to regard the word weird with such a positive connotation that I created a word for things in my life that are both weird and bad. I call them psychedelic. The word, at least, is part of the weirdness that I celebrate, even though the things it describes are not. I've always had a love for words, but putting them on paper remains hard for me. As an avenue for my creativity, writing is becoming a bigger part of my life, though. With the exception of classwork, I didn't really start writing prose and poetry until I was an adult. While I believe I have a natural talent for music, I'm not so gifted in writing. I'm also not nearly so prolific at it as my wife. But unlike singing someone else's song, putting my own words on paper or a screen gives me a sense that I'm creating something original for the world. My YouTube channel also helps me share my weirdness with the world. Because of my bipolar, I strive for balance, and making videos keeps me both inspired and focused. I've gotten a lot of support and encouragement since I started doing them. The videos are mostly singing, which has been a part of my life as long as I can remember. But I almost completely gave up on my music for a very long time. The channel is a start at practicing and sharing my gifts again. I'm mostly singing for my family and friends at this point, but obviously I want to share it with a greater audience as well. So what does this mean to you? Perhaps you're aching to find a voice but think that art isn't one of your gifts. Natural talent does help, but my singing still takes practice. And as I've said, I'm not particularly adept at writing or drawing, but doing so still allows me to express myself. And as I keep practicing, I occasionally create something that makes me proud of the attempt. I want to encourage others to develop and share their gifts. And when you feel you don't have any, I suggest that you make an attempt and practice to develop some. The world needs more beauty and balance. You can express yourself through art, and if you let it, the things you create can inspire and focus you and those around you. As each of us gives these gifts to the world, we will make it a better place.